Hey there, gorgeous. My name is Melissa, and I am also known as the Taropist, and I am going to be your tarot card reader. Guys, we are going to do a full-sized love reading today for the collective. This reading can resonate for any placement of any zodiac sign at any time. It can be from single to married and anywhere in between, just whomever you have on that beautiful mind. Guys, I am going to go into a little bit of an introduction about myself, the channel, and the structure of the reading. If you've already heard this all before or you're just not interested in hearing it the first time, I will leave a little timestamp in the pinned comment below. You can click on that and jump right into the beginning of the reading. For those of you who are interested in knowing a little bit more about myself, again, I am the Taropist, and anything that you would ever need to know about me or my channel, you can find either in the description box below, the channel description, or my community tab. You can certainly always check out my website there, which is www.thetaropist.com. I am currently closed for the Zoom and FaceTime personal readings. However, I'm available for the pre-recorded and email readings still, and any information you need to know about that, again, is going to be listed in that description box below. If there's anything you can't find down there and you have questions about, there is an email address listed below, and you can always email me with those questions. Guys, now the personal readings are going to be the most powerful way for me to pick up on your personal situation, or this is the only way to guarantee that I'm going to pick up on your personal situation. If you are uninterested in or unable to purchase a personal reading for any reason, but you would like me to be more likely to pick up on your personal scenario in my collective readings, then do make sure that you are engaging with the channel in as many ways as possible. This makes it a lot easier for me to be able to pick up on your particular threads of energy. And some easy ways that you can do that, guys, are by liking or commenting on any of the videos or the community tab posts. You can certainly always share any of my content. And my personal favorite, and I think the most powerful way for me to be able to pick up on your personal situation in my collective readings is by you clicking that little subscribe button below. If you are going to subscribe to the channel and you'd like to be notified when I do upload or go live in the future, then make sure that you have your notifications set to all. We are going to start out here with the dream guidance love messages to get kind of an overall feeling of the situation that we're dealing with. And then we are going to get in the first column here, your energy. The second column will be the person you have on your mind's energy. The third column will be a potential outcome. Now, because I am just picking up on energies here, you're always welcome to reverse roles 1 and 2 if you feel like your energy is more fitting to the second column and theirs is more fitting to the first. And the potential outcome here, again, because I am just picking up on energy, is only potential, and any actions that you would take in your physical reality are ultimately going to shape your physical reality. So just because the energy is available to you does not guarantee anything. You will need to take any necessary action in a physical way. Okay. We have this connection is intense. I want to rock with you, baby, all night long. My life is upside down. Yeah. You came in like a wrecking ball. It feels like the connection, it says this connection is intense and my life is upside down. I feel like the connection itself has made maybe both of you feel like everything has been turned upside down. I regret hurting you, and I am working on myself. It's like two people that weren't quite ready to bring the connection into fruition here or into union, because there was some healing that needed to be done yet. I want to say two people that were kind of gliding along on autopilot here. And a lot of times then what happens is the divine will send in a deep soul connection. Sometimes this soul connection is meant to come into union at some point, but maybe we're not ready for it right now. And sometimes the connection isn't actually meant to be a connection in the third dimension at all. It was just somebody to wake you up and make you recognize that you're not living a life that you truly love. 8 of Wands here is about quick, successful action. It's about quick action, though. I mean, a quick and successful conclusion to a confusing situation, or communication is another thing that the 8 of Wands can represent, a lot of communication. And I want to say there was originally a lot of communication between the two of you. And let's find out more. The Queen of Pentacles here in their energy, the Seven of Pentacles and the potential outcome, and the Moon card as the overarching energy. Okay, so that's like the intensity of this. So this represents, actually, it's the Moon card, but it represents the planet Neptune in the tarot. So it actually represents the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by the planet Neptune. However, it can also represent the sign of Cancer, since the moon itself does rule over the sign of Cancer. But what it really is talking about is deep and intense emotion. This can show up as fears or sort of subconscious fears, definitely the ability to feel things intensely. And I just want to say, with this as your overarching energy, anytime there's a major arcana, which the moon card is, in the overarching energy of a love reading, it does signify a very deep and spiritual connection. Again, because but the card, the moon itself, signifies a deep and spiritual feeling, something, the ability to feel things more deeply or intensely than you've ever felt them before. And again, I want to say this triggers our ability. So this kind of a connection, whether it is meant to be in the third dimension, or whether it was just sent in to wake us up to the reality that we should be living a life that we feel deeply connected to. I do feel like we're going to get more. We're going to clarify everything. Okay. So again, the Eight of Wands is about quick and successful action, or quick movement. It is the quickest, I would say, the quickest card in the tarot. So um, a lot of communication is what I'm getting off of that right now. And I don't know if you were communicating eagerly or aggressively or assertively to this person and felt like you weren't getting a lot of reciprocation in the communication department. We're going to clarify everything, but the Queen of Pentacles here is a very stable and grounded energy. You can see she has literal roots coming out of her head. This person is so stable and grounded, and nothing is going to kind of uproot them. Their foundation is solid. Everything that they've built is built on integrally. It's just built out of integrity. So this person is very integral. And again, they've already gone through a time in their life where they've had to kind of let go of or release anything that was not for their greatest good or didn't align with the truest version of themselves. And they are in this energy of the truest version of themselves. I want to say there's something about, and we're going to get more on who hurt who here. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of investment, or something that we've invested in finally paying off. I want to say the work that you've done on yourselves is finally paying off in the form of this connection. But there is something odd here about, I regret hurting you. I do feel like there's an energy of they maybe didn't reciprocate some sort of. By the way, I feel like the connection was so intense that you felt the need to communicate. By the way, I think you should always communicate clearly. I don't think that the type of information we've been given on love, like don't over communicate, don't communicate too soon, wait, don't text before they text back, or whatever this is. There is something about your energy feeling like you might have been, how do I say this in the right way? So there's a feeling of your connections in the past being codependent, or um you relating this connection to feelings in the past where you have felt something strongly. Maybe I want to say never this strongly or intensely, but where you have scared people away, or you feel like you scared them away, but truthfully they just weren't aligned with you. So the divine wouldn't let them come in, or wouldn't let them continue. So I do want to say that your communication originally, while I think it's, again, honorable to be very clear in communication, there was something that they felt. It feels like they felt like it was, there was an unhealthy need for their validation, which, by the way, they didn't want to give you, but it's not because there wasn't a mutual feeling there. It was because they knew that you needed to find that sort of validation from within. The Ace of Wands here, again, I feel it's all just relating to this very deep and spiritual intensity that you have not felt in a connection before. By the way, they're saying that there is, like, that you maybe have had very strong physical attraction to people before, or even felt very connected emotionally, but then there was no physical attraction there. So this person kind of has all of that. So it's got you kind of fearing Well, this is an interesting energy because I said I felt like you were very clear communicating originally, and now it's saying that you're standing still or you're not moving or you're not making or taking any action because of maybe the way that they didn't respond the way you wanted to them to originally. There's a big lesson in this that I'm not relaying very well here, but it is about not needing the validation from the other party for this to feel or for you to know that it's real. Okay. Of course, I think that the other person will pour into you fully and never keep you wondering. However, there was it's like an unhealthy need for them to immediately reciprocate in communication. Oh, you got the eight of wands twice here, baby. Again, I love the eight of wands. It can be a really good energy, but it does feel like your excitement about the connection and feeling something that you've never felt before. You wanted to, instead of pausing and letting it all settle in, you wanted to communicate immediately with this person. And I feel like they're saying oversharing. So um, it's like before we had our first date, you were telling them you love them. I don't think it's that extreme, by the way, but that's the energy that they're bringing through. And by the way, that's not weird. So when you do meet the person that you're meant to connect with in this lifetime, or that you truly do have a bond or a connection with innately, it does feel that intense and that immediately. But there is a need to, even though that happens, to be able to control your actions in that state of mind. So emotional intelligence. It's about knowing that things might hit deeply or feel deeply and deep on a very deep emotional level and more intense than you've ever felt them before. But the need to be able to tame the beast is the energy I'm getting. And I'm surprised I don't have the strength card there. Maybe it will come out in the outcome here. But they have, wow, this person. Wow. No wonder you were feeling the need to jump on this opportunity immediately. I don't, I think they might be financially well off. They definitely feel like a divine feminine energy, which stirs up a lot of, whether yeah, that's just what I'm going to say. It feels like the divine feminine with the Queen of Pentacles, which does represent the sign of Capricorn. And then we do have the Empress card, which does represent the planet Venus. So the signs of Taurus and Libra. Aside from this person being extremely, I want to say physically attractive, they're very aurically attractive and very magnetic with this energy here. But not only that, they seem to be very humble and grounded at the same time. Very stable energy, very calming, soothing energy here. And it, instead of doing what it does to most people, well, first of all, this kind of energy stirs up all kinds of different things in people. A lot of people will seek a refuge in this person's energy or something like that, but there, it will also stir up people's inadequacies or insecurities. And I want to say that that happened to you because you don't feel worthy of this connection at this time. And I do think that that's why you are working on yourself. And that does feel like you're working on yourself. I want to say that they didn't communicate back to you the things that you needed to hear because they knew that you couldn't hear it from them. You needed to hear it from yourself. You needed to trust your own intuition, your own internal guidance system here. And then the Ten of Pentacles is about total like stability, kind of is stable. But all of these energies are so stable. And then you get the Four of Wands, which is about kind of a higher frequency or a higher level of commitment here. Again, I want to say that this person needed you to go off on your own and validate yourself so that you, but by the way, because this person is very attractive, I think they do receive a lot of attention. And when I say they receive a lot of attention, this means that they get a lot of attention, but they don't entertain it. Okay. So they're not entertaining any of the other attention that they are receiving, or they see it as the divine orchestration of like knowing that other people find refuge or solace is what I want to say. And I'm not even sure what that word means. So I've been refusing to say that word, but in their energy. So they know that people feel safe in their energy, and they certainly will entertain that. So they'll definitely give people the comfort that they're seeking in their energy without giving any of their personal energy or information away. They seem very private on, even though, again, they get a lot of attention, and they even do give their energy to people for the very like divine reason of them feeling safe in their energy. I hope that this makes sense for you because it is saying that they don't entertain any of this as a personal in their personal circle or something like that. Okay. I want to say they do, despite all the attention that they receive, they don't entertain just anything and they know what's for them. So they're very aware that you're the one for them, but they are not willing to tell you that at this time because they know that you're on the journey of figuring this out for yourself or learning to trust your own intuition and internal guidance system. Okay. The Seven of Pentacles, the Six of Wands. Okay, because there is something about this being a divine counterpart connection, and with the moon card as the overarching energy and the Empress and their energy, this does make sense. So the reality of being somebody that is kind of influential, maybe in the public eye here with the Six of Wands, and regardless, it doesn't always have to be in the public eye. If you guys are not in the public eye, it does feel like this connection here has some sort of purpose behind it. So the connection itself, when we have a divine counterpart connection, the main reason or purpose behind a divine counterpart connection is not just for the love to come in and the boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, the relationship. The real purpose behind it is to provide some sort of service to the world around us. Okay. Speaking of the world card is here, and I didn't see that before, but it is exactly the energy. So there's something about you all being very popular and on the world stage here, and this person knowing that you needed to find the same type of stability. It's like on your next reading, I want to say that the Empress card is going to be in your energy as well, or maybe even the Emperor. But you're getting into that Emperor energy, which we don't have here. There is the Strength card that I was talking about earlier, by the way, but we do have the Knight of Wands as the overarching energy from the clarifying deck, which is about passion and taking action towards our passions. And I want to say that they saw that you weren't fully stepping into your power here. Again, I can see you stepping into your Emperor energy, but by doing so, it's like knowing that the divine orchestration here. So your original communication with this person seemed very eager. It seemed unsure is actually the energy. It seemed like it needed validation. It seemed like it needed some sort of um validation. That's all I can come up with, or confirmation. And when you're working on a divine purpose or leading a large crowd or a large audience in the public eye here, the reality is that you can't come from a space of needing any external validation from anyone, not even the person that you're meant to be fulfilling this purpose with. So while they may have seemed silent in the past, the way you communicate or the way you are learning how to accept the feelings that you're feeling, even communicate them clearly, by the way, but not with the desire or the need. It feels like a desperate need. And of course, you can always reverse these roles for this person to validate or confirm the feelings that you're having. But they're aware because of the work that they've done. And the divine is making sure that you're aware that your intuition is correct here. But again, when you step into this Emperor energy, you are fully aware of your power. You don't use it to your advantage or to take advantage of others, I should say. While you might use it to your advantage to help others, you don't use that kind of power or um, authority to take advantage of like the weaknesses in others. It's almost like you use it to take advantage of the universal energy to help people find their own power, something like that. And again, I'm watching you step into that power now here, but there is a way to communicate effectively with this person about your true feelings and emotions. First of all, it shouldn't be via text message. I want to say that there needs to be a real conversation had here. It does look like a victory in the outcome. It does look like not only that, but this connection is going to be victorious and in the public eye on the world stage here, again, where the two of you are communicating maybe all the things that you've been through previously or how divine union works or whatever it is you all feel called to. This is going to be different for each and every divine counterpart here. Our purposes are all very different. And of course, these are innate things that we feel called to from maybe birth or from our first memories, things we feel drawn to. It feels like you're going to be taking whatever you've been learning, life lessons over and over again throughout your entire lifetime. You're finding this person that you align with fully that has had similar or even very contrasting lessons so that what you have to offer the world is the total package. Okay. And I want to say that once you are able to communicate from the place of authenticity and vulnerability and not with a need for this person to reciprocate, of course, naturally they will reciprocate when the time is right and when you step into your power, into your emperor energy, where you're able to communicate clearly without, again, feeling, I want to say, without pressuring this person to validate your feelings. Okay. I hope this makes sense for you. And I am going to leave the reading there. It does feel like a very successful outcome and a very successful relationship and a very important relationship here. But it does say that these kind of relationships we can't come into until we're ready to handle the power behind them or the energy involved, the intensity of the connection. So that's all. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in the next reading. If you've made it this far, hit that like button for me. Thank you so much.